the rally was a huge success in defiance of those that wanted to censor our free speech and who tried to intimidate people from speaking. It's part of a systematic program we've seen of censorship, not just in cyberspace, but physically on the ground. Obama had our airplanes that were towing banners the last few days banned and had the biggest restriction on airspace in the history of a convention done for the full convention here and in Philadelphia in direct response to our legal and lawful company flying around with Hillary for president in 2016. What do you think about the rally? I mean, was it a success? Roger?
Yeah, I think it was a massive success. Look, this was the suppression. They want to suppress our free speech because it endangers them. The truth is what they fear. And they know we're carrying the truth. So as Alex said, it's not just Facebook, it's not just Twitter, it's not just cyberspace, but in the villages and towns and communities, they want to suppress our ability to tell the truth. And I'm particularly grateful to the ACLU, who represented us in court, and to the federal judge who had the courage in a corrupted system to strike down the gag order of the Democratic machine of Cleveland and to order the city to give us a permit so that we could have our rally. Now, the Westboro Baptist Church had no trouble getting a permit because they thought that would embarrass us. And Black Lives Matter had no problem getting a permit, and Move On had no problem getting a permit. It was only liberty-minded Americans who want to protest, or I should say celebrate, in this case, the nomination of the Trump-Pence ticket. So this was a terrific victory in the federal courts. It was a terrific public relations victory. As long as Jones and Stone are breathing, free speech and the truth will not be suppressed.
And that's another important question. I want to get to some of you guys' questions, but let me ask you this. Trump clearly is starting to come ahead of Hillary in many polls, battleground states. We've already talked about that. How will they strike back? What do you expect him to do at the end of this convention when I know you told me you expect Trump to be even more ahead?
Yeah, I think Trump takes the lead in this race after the convention. I have enormous faith in Paul Manafort and Tony Fabrizio and Jason Miller. These guys are political pros. They have bonded with Trump. We now have a cohesive campaign in which everybody's pulling in the same direction. And I'm absolutely convinced in Mike Pence we have the best possible running mate of the choices available, and that he is going to be a perfect balance for Trump out in the Republican states and in the base states. So yes, what I think happens here is that the Trump-Pence ticket is going to pull ahead. That's in the face of an unfair mainstream media that spends all day trashing the Trump-Pence ticket. It's in the face of a country where there are more Democrats than Republicans. And you know what you're going to see from the Clintons? Panic. And that's when they try to bring down the police state. That's when they try to shut down your rallies and they start playing games with the voting process. The single most biggest danger out there, I believe, is voter theft, is voter fraud. We saw it to some degree in the primaries. The machines are going to be working overtime, voting people who are dead, a great tradition in Texas, as you know. They're going to be voting people that don't exist. They're going to be voting people who are not qualified to vote. They're going to be voting people multiple times. That, I think, is the danger, because the established order is petrified. Trump can't be bullied. He can't be bought. They see a wave of reform unlike anything they've ever seen, and they're scared shitless.
Alex, what role do you think that you and Roger have played in the rise and success of Donald Trump this election cycle?
I think we're all just together as populists and basically have just been out promoting what we've been promoting for a long time, and Trump's just doing that as well. So I just see us all working together in synergy. But I have seen Roger particularly, and myself and others, Matt Drudge of DrudgeReport.com, I guess a lot of the credit as well, to counter lies of the establishment media faster than Trump's people were doing earlier. He's got, quite frankly, some more savvy folks I've now seen that are countering it even faster than I can, or right as I'm countering it, they're countering with the exact same counter because it's the truth. But before, a lot of times, I would put out a talking point, which was based on what was happening, that would counter their lie. Then I'd see Trump and them pick it up in a day or so, and I would see them pick up Rogers' info days after. Now I'm seeing Trump with their own response a lot faster. So if you ask what I would take credit for, simply recognizing ridiculous mainstream media lies and countering it quickly, sometimes when Trump's previous folks weren't. Roger, what's your take?
I think that's exactly right. You're going to have a superior rapid response team. Look, we're never going to have the well-oiled political machine that is funded by massive special interest contributions in foreign governments that the Clintons have. But we're always going to have a smaller, guerrilla-oriented campaign. But I liken this to the British Royal Army and the American colonists. They're hidebound. They can't make quick decisions. They got to poll everything. They got to focus group everything. They got to roundtable everything. We are lithe. We are leaner. We can hit hard and then hide behind the stone wall. The Brits never did that, and that's why we kicked their ass.
Alex, what drew you to Roger to team up this election cycle? What do you like about Roger?
Well, I had met Roger years ago at like JFK events and stuff. He's somebody that for over 15 years has been exposing the Bushes and globalists and things like that since he really woke up to what was happening. And then I just got to know him in person and thought, this is a really great, nice guy. And then he said, oh, by the way, I got Donald Trump on for you. And then, got to just start really following the campaign and seeing how Roger was giving me and my listeners the most accurate analysis, not what people wanted to hear, but what was really going on. And so it's just fun to have him on the radio. So that's why we become friends. Roger?
What I like about Alex is that he doesn't mince words. He tells you what he really thinks. And I think it takes great courage today to do that. And what I really resent is the mainstream media. I had a reporter, I won't name the news organization, came up to me this morning and said, well, you're affiliated with Alex Jones. He believes in UFOs. I said, no, he doesn't. What are you talking about? So I think his views have been distorted. I think sometimes views that he doesn't ascribe to have been ascribed to him, which is entirely unfair. We don't agree on everything, not everything. We agree on many, many things. We agree on the 5 largest issues that are facing this country when it comes to trade and immigration and security and our economic prosperity and so on. So I have no angst about this. I am proud to have been on InfoWars. We are reaching millions of people with the truth. Alex Jones is my friend. We both love good barbecue. We both love good Mexican. We both like a good belt from time to time. I'm proud to be a
exactly.
friend.
And beyond Roger Stone and Alex Jones, this is a paradigm where the mainstream media tries to tell you who can associate with who and tries to break up all these coalitions. The left is all about their broken coalition strategy of a bunch of balkanized groups they weld together. But with us, they just make up stuff like they said, Alex Jones thinks that Obama sent a tornado to Oklahoma City. No, a lady called in and said, could this have been a weather weapon? And I'm like, well, the History Channel and Discovery Channel have shows about weather weapons. Like in Vietnam and stuff, making things flood, but no, they don't make one tornado. No, that turned into Alex Jones believes that that Obama sent a tornado. I don't cover UFOs. I cover it less than say CNN does. I mean, sometimes they say a giant, blimp or something was over a city. I'll go look at this story and it's a blimp. I mean, I cover like 1/1000th of the UFOs anybody does, and they always say he believes in the Loch Ness Monster, he believes in UFOs, he believes in chupacabras. That's other shows on radio, not me. But it doesn't even matter. I mean, if I'm for the Second Amendment and I believe in Martians, that's fine. But again, it's this thing of like, don't be associated with Alex Jones because they're so scared of what I'm talking about becoming mainline. Well, it's already happened. So they're a day late and a dollar short. But I know they've got to get us off this bus soon. And I just wanted to get my questions into Roger about the whole situation here in Cleveland. I wanted to ask him if anybody's got any other questions, throw it in. Roger, where do you place the blame for the latest round of police officers being killed and wounded in Baton Rouge, and Obama still not backing off, saying we need to reform the police every time cops get killed? To me, that's giving legitimacy to killing these police, and I see all the race baiting, the BLM destabilization. From your political understanding, being in all these White Houses, what do you think's being done here?
Look, they're trying to polarize the American people, and they're trying to blame this crime wave on the police, which is an absurdity. There is never any excuse for violence. There is never any excuse for breaking the law. This idea that the police are responsible. Now, is every police officer in the country perfect? No. Are there some bad apples? Yes, but there's far more bad apples among the black nationalists and the black radicals who want violence. Because we know how this works. Here's how it works. You pick a fight, there's violence. Now we blame it on Donald Trump. It's his fault. He's fostered an atmosphere of violence. This is your typical mainstream media BS.
By the way, CNN and others have actually blamed Donald Trump for what happened in Nice, a guy run people over with trucks, and they've blamed what happened in Baton Rouge on Trump with no connection.
Yeah, these guys are petrified, and therefore they're going to get more hysterical. Their claims are going to get more outrageous.
So this is desperateness.
It is, and here's the difference. In the old days, when there were 3 networks, you could smear Barry Goldwater. You could say he's a lunatic, he's trigger happy, he's a bigot, he's a racist, he's mentally unbalanced, he's going to bring World War II. And because there were only 3 networks, unfortunately, the American people bought it. Of course, a few years later, when he came out for gay marriage, he was the greatest guy in the entire world. Now, they try the same thing, the same smears on Trump. It's like mirror image. But because our media has become so diffuse, because we have cable and we have talk radio and we have outlets like InfoWars and Breitbart and Drudge and the Daily Caller and so many others, Town Hall. They can no longer suppress the truth, and therefore they're going crazy. Yeah, they're still leaning on the networks. Oh, that's not a story. That's not legitimate.
Ban Roger Stone.
They banned me at CNN, which I wear like a badge. Now, it's one thing to ban me, but then to let Ted Cruz go on CNN and kick the crap out of me by name and not afford me an opportunity to respond, that's not journalism. They're no longer journalists. Now it's all advocacy. So I'm disappointed.
In closing, unless you have other questions, what has Trump got to, I mean, your advice to Trump is public and private, but obviously public. What is your advice to Trump right now, or what should he be looking out for, getting close to the home stretch?
Look, I think this is the earliest Republican National Convention we have ever had. We have traditionally had our convention in late August. By going this early, we have given ourselves a longer trajectory to make our case because we have to come from behind. Therefore, I think the real purpose of the next couple days is to present the case for Trump. I also think that we're going to get, we're going to begin the process of exposing the Clinton crime machine, her epic abuse of women, the fact that she's the one who gave the order in Waco that killed 18 children under the age of 8. Senator Arlen Specter's investigation in the Senate proved that. The investigation by T. March Bell, the House investigator, proved that because she was the co-president. She chose Janet Reno. She chose Webster Hubbell as his chief deputy, and she gave the order to shoot to kill at Waco. So who's an advocate for children? She's a murderer of children. She has blood on her hands.
What about her getting all the Gulf State money?
Two last questions for you, Alex. Between now and November, what are you going to mobilize your millions of listeners and viewers to do?
Just to promote national sovereignty, to promote lower taxes. For me, Trump's a vehicle just to promote nationalism and sovereignty and Americana, lower taxes, private property rights, to exercise free speech, to counter political correctness. That's an attempt to bring in a new dark age of censorship. I mean, it's intense. And so I just think it's time for America to stand up, and Trump is just one focal point or manifestation of that. And I'm going to put up aircraft all over the country now, since they censored us here. After our planes flying 2 days, they banned them. And so I'm going to launch a national campaign to raise money that Hillary be brought to justice, Hillary for prison, 2016.
Do you think that you and Roger now represent the mainstream?
I think, like he said, we represent the Americans, the Americana system, and really grassroots Americans that are sick of being ruled by a totalitarian elite.
I saw you confront Karl Rove yesterday in the airport. Are you afraid that the selection of Mike Pence means the establishment have gotten their hooks in Donald Trump?
That's a great question, and I want to get Roger's take on this. I trust Donald Trump, and I see that Pence is a much better choice than Gingrich. I don't like him on some of the trade deals, TPP and things, but Trump has said he got him because he's a guy that's known as being trustworthy, a guy that he can work with, a guy that won't stab him in the back, and a guy that will help carry out Donald Trump's agenda, who knows how to work both sides of the aisle to get those deals done, and Trump's promise to get deals done. So if Pence is used as a weapon to carry out our nationalist, populist agenda, then I'll say Trump's an even bigger genius. If Trump starts going sideways once he's in office with Pence and he becomes a Pence administration, I will then lobby and try to put pressure on Trump to get back on the straight and narrow. But unless Trump's really bad, it's always going to be friendly because, my God, he's not Hillary Clinton. The guy gets up and talks about we're not surrendering to the Chinese anymore on trade. We're not surrendering to Saudi Arabia anymore. He takes zero money from the Gulf states. I'm not ever a lesser of the two evils guy, but in this case I am, because Hillary is that bad. But that's where I stand on this, is that I have a wait and see with what's going to happen with Pence. But knowing how Trump is, his history, folks that know him, it's going to be what Donald Trump thinks, not what Pence thinks. So I think, in hindsight, the first day I kind of didn't like it, that I trust Trump. What do you think, Roger Stone?
Look, I totally agree. Look, the battle lines are drawn here. This is a race between the globalists and the nationalists. This is a race who believe in one world government and the new world order, and those who believe in American sovereignty. And that's the fault line. That's the case we have to make the American people. I think we have the winning message. I think we have the establishment on the run. 30 years of the two-party duopoly have given us endless war, erosion of our civil liberties, massive debt and spending, a foreign policy that's expensive yet incoherent, massive globalist trade deals that have sucked the jobs out of America. People are fed up. And here's the big difference. It's not new that people don't trust politicians, but now they no longer trust the media because they know they're in league with the politicians and that is one establishment front. And that's why we're going to win, because people have a healthy skepticism now. That's why you could run hundreds of millions of dollars of negative TV ads against Donald Trump, and the voters looked at him and said, well, this is obviously crap paid for by the special interests. Donald Trump got 325,000 more votes than Mitt Romney in the Republican primary in Florida when I live. And when you cross-tab those people back and find out who they are, they didn't vote 4 years ago. They didn't vote 8 years ago. Most of them didn't vote 6 years ago. So I think Trump, unlike Hillary, who's a known commodity and who's maxed out today, Trump can bring millions of new people, new Americans, to our banner, and that's why we win.
And I can't imagine Trump, when he's on this crest of nationalism and people love him so much, and he's already successful, he wants to be his own man, selling out to the globalist. I think he wants to be the turnaround specialist that helps make America great again. And I mean, I don't want to be George Washington 2.0. I mean, and you know him well. I mean, you think that's what's happening?
Look, he's a guy of enormous courage and enormous guts, and it's his way or the highway. He's the top man in this ticket. This is his agenda. So the people at Bloomberg today said, well, don't you think now he should back off this ridiculous idea of building a wall? Zero chance. Donald Trump never backs down from a fight. That's not his nature. That's not how he's made. Oh, don't you think he should now end this ridiculous idea of a temporary ban on Muslim immigration? Zero chance that he's going to do that. You don't understand the man. He's a brawler. He's a fighter. He is not going to give an inch on the issues that got him nominated and that have caused this coming tidal wave. So, look, I have total confidence in Trump. And the more I read up on Pence, and there's a few views I don't like, but the guy understands the need for prosperity. He understands the need for opportunity. There's 185,000 new jobs in his state since he's become governor. And they are the #1 job producer in the Middle West. So I think he's the right man. This is the right team. This is the right time. This is our last best chance. If this doesn't happen, then I think this country's had it. But the American people are wise to the globalists. They're wise to the establishment. They understand the stakes. I think we'll all be together again at the inauguration in Washington next January.
Alex, do you think that if Hillary Clinton wins, this country's had it?
I think she clearly is going for the divide and conquer strategy, and they want to have a limited race war in the country and a civil war and bring in permanent emergency, a permanent tyranny, and that's why we've got to defeat Hillary Clinton.
Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction, easy assembly, low maintenance. Replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.